Hi there, everyone, and thanks for stopping by Paradigm Analysis, where I pursue coherence and encourage you to do the same. I'm your host, Jeffrey Rucker, and I'm here to introduce the channel and myself to you and let you know what you'll be able to expect. Welcome to Paradigm Analysis. So I want to start out with what made me decide to create this project. It all started about a year and a half ago, and I was digging around, doing some research, trying to explain some weird behaviors and some patterns that I noticed. And this all eventually led me to fifth generation warfare. And the more I dug into this, the more it explained the things that I was seeing. And I realized how absolutely insidious it was. And it's widespread. So I dug in a little deeper, and at this point I'm knowledgeable, but I'm not an expert, and I'm hoping to become more expert throughout this project. And I'd love to have you along for the ride. So yeah, that's one of my major goals with this, is to share this information with you all and become more expert in it, and hopefully pick up some of you guys along the way that want to also learn this material and know what we're looking at. And this is going to be relevant to everybody. It doesn't matter where you are on the path, whether you just kind of feel something is a little off, or whether you know there is something off but you can't quite put your finger on it or conceptualize it, or if you already know this material and you just want a sounding board to bounce some ideas off of. And this is going to be accessible information as well. So don't think that you can't learn this information. I'm going to spell things out and simplify it down. That's one of the talents I actually have. I used to do technical support, and I had to deal with people of all various ability levels, so I know how to communicate effectively when we're talking about complex topics. So don't worry about that. And I'm hoping to gather this community so that everybody can support each other too. So people of various different ability levels can get together and talk at that level. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. Practice and hard work can easily make up for any natural ability. So I just want to emphasize that. And I also abhor any intellectual arrogance. And it's not the way I've ever been. It's not in my nature. So you're not going to see it from me. And once we get the community going, I'm not going to let it happen within that community either. So let's cover what exactly a paradigm is. A lot of people have heard the word, but it's usually a little amorphous. You kind of know what it is. So what a paradigm is it's the lens through which we see the world. It consists of core concepts that allow our minds to interpret the reality that we interact with. And hopefully this paradigm is as comprehensive and coherent as possible. Throughout life, we're often directed on how to develop our paradigms by others and never really take ownership over our own interpretations of reality. This is really dangerous and can lead to a lot of problems, such as people not developing their own unique identity. It can lead to division, distraction, and keep us dependent on things and people outside of our own agency. We will analyze these various different paradigms, focusing on where we acquired the concepts used to create them, what the likely reasons are for these concepts being given to us, and who actually benefits from us operating under these frameworks. Through this, we'll be better equipped with the tools to refine our own paradigms and take full ownership of them. As for the analysis portion, we'll evaluate documented evolutions throughout history and techniques and methods that have been refined over time. We're going to keep speculation to a minimum, and I'll let you all know when I am speculating, but we'll take those speculations and we'll measure them against the facts and the patterns. And the patterns are just as important too, because those give us threads that tie events throughout time. But we're going to make a concerted effort to keep everything as tangible and evidence-based as possible. This is very important because this will help us form a more sturdy foundation to our paradigms. That's what I'm hoping to achieve with this platform. A better toolkit that we can all use to refine our paradigms. The series that I've developed are going to consist of 4 secular series and 1 Christian series. And yes, I am a Christian, but don't worry about it. I wasn't always a Christian, and throughout my 30-year career as an electromechanical tech, I've developed a pretty good analytical and objective framework. And I've also learned where my faith is relevant to the conversation. And this is why I have specifically created these series to have the 4 series that don't require any spiritual framework. But I have to include 1 for my brothers and sisters. The first series will be some of the historical progressions and modern control structures. It'll be titled, Who They Are. I have to address this because I often hear people asking, who are they? This series will address those questions. The first episode will be on the Prussian education system developed in the mid-1700s. This was designed to create compliant factory workers and soldiers, and also to instill a sense of nationalism mentality with the government as the leadership and as the ultimate authority. Believe me, I know that history is not necessarily the most exciting topic among many, but once you can see how it connects to the modern day, it becomes drastically more relevant and interesting. This is a great place to start this series because it affects us all, and we all start out life with this system. For the second series, we'll start with 8 foundational aspects of psychological manipulation. These were the baselines used to develop 5th generation warfare, and at this point, this stuff is really effective and can be adapted and reformulated in real time. And everybody is susceptible to these types of manipulations. So it's important to understand this framework because it's essential to building effective cognitive immunity to protect ourselves from it. After this, Series 3 is going to be on logic, reason, and critical thinking. And when I first started out with this project, I was going to start with this, so I went out to go learn it, and I ended up finding academic resources, and when I looked at those, they were really dull and boring. So I almost, for a time, I actually did just think, okay, I'm not even going to touch that. But as I was developing my series, I realized this is foundational information and has to be included. And it is extremely useful. I mean, this is going to be able to help you evaluate evidence, identify assumptions, question arguments, and construct better reasons that we can use to define our paradigms. So I'll do my best to dress it up, and if you decide to watch the other shows, you might want to glance at this too. In the 4th series, we're actually going to start applying some of the skills that are being described in the other 3 series, and this is going to be good practical application exercise as we analyze current events and use the frameworks that are being developed. I know when I see current events happening now, I'm able to go, okay, this person's doing that. This is what's happening here. This is coming from there. And everything makes so much more sense. So by doing this exercise periodically, then that'll help you get everything solidified in your head, and it'll eventually become kind of second nature. And finally, for the 5th series, as I mentioned earlier, this is going to be my Christian analysis section. And I'm going to start with my testimony. As I mentioned, I wasn't always a Christian. I went way out into the world. And I've suffered from addiction. I've had a lot of bad things happen in my life. And I also had a lot of good things happen in my life. I mean, still am a automation technician, electromechanical technician. I fix things that make stuff do stuff. And it really helped me develop my analytical skills. But I did finally come back to God about 10 years ago in 2015. And that actually was through logic and reason. Since I had that background, that's where I had to get. That's what ended up leading me back to Him. So even if you're not a Christian, you might be interested in hearing about my testimony. But again, if not, it's no big deal. This is actually the perfect time to be putting this information out. We're at a critical juncture in today's world where we've got AI and social media accelerating the results of the methods being used. I'm sure you've noticed whenever you look at a few videos that are the same, then all of a sudden that topic is covering your feed and you don't even get anything else. And the 5th generation warfare tactics are being used by militaries and civilian institutions all over the world. Once this information became common knowledge, it was basically open season for anybody to use it against everyone. So I'm hoping that providing the concepts and methods, everyone will be able to achieve mental sovereignty and intellectual immunity. This isn't me trying to tell you what to think. This is about me providing agnostic information that will help you refine your own paradigm as you wish. As I mentioned earlier, one of my hopeful goals for this project is to gather an active community of participants. This isn't about me having all the answers. It's about us asking better questions together. For this purpose, I've created a Discord server, and I'm on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, and I may add some more. What I have so far are linked in my link tree, which I'll provide along with this video. As you might have guessed, I don't like psychological manipulation. So I'm not going to pester you with the standard farming techniques that a lot of creators use. I find that extremely annoying. If you want to follow my work and help me out, I respect you enough to know you probably know how to do that already and can decide what you want to do without me pushing you. I'm just trying to provide useful information and things I've found valuable in my own life. So thanks again for stopping by and sticking around to the end. I'm really excited about getting this going, so I hope to see you around later. Take care, and see you next time.